Hello and happy day to you. I hope you're having an amazing good day. So today we're taking a look at the next short story in this collection by Brian Lumley, collecting all this Cthulhu Mythos stuff. The collection is called Haggopian and Other Stories. This is an 18-page short story. It's from 73. It's called The House of Cthulhu for you folks. It's 18 pages long. I read it last night for the first time in about like maybe half an hour. Well, actually probably a little longer because this is 18 pages long. It probably took me like 35 to 40 minutes. And that's everything on for the first time. I'll hit on the box for you folks. So there you go. And so this guy was a fan of H.P. Lovecraft, Aldous Stirlith, and Lovecraft. He actually submitted this to authorship a couple of times. Ultimately, when it was published, it was actually published in a few collections as the best shorts at the end of the year, or in a lot of other things. This is actually a short story that's been the most published of anything. Or even his novels too, from all the different languages to different reprints to different volumes or editions and collections that's been into. And that sort of thing too. All right. So basically, what's happening here is that I go and I read a lot of these horror short stories because I'm a big fan of H.P. Lovecraft and the Cthulhu Mythos too. I encountered him as a junior in college. At the time, I typically read lots of novels, usually in fantasy, sometimes science fiction too, and that sort of thing too. And my favorite authors was Michael Moore. And then I actually read his collection, his 3-volume collection of all of his stuff in high school. One of his Cthulhu Mythos stuff, one of his Dreamland stuff, and one of his just normal horror stuff too. And he became my favorite author, and I've read like thousands of Cthulhu Mythos short stories here and there. And Brian Lumley was a big fan of it too. And so he actually went and he started reading a lot of these things. He actually wrote for Arkham House for 20 years. And so that was basically his predominant thing until he started publishing novels in the Necroscope series. And that sort of thing too. So basically, and this collection is published by Solaris again, like the comments below. So basically, what's happening here is that this is set in the past, and it's more of a sword and sorcery take on the Cthulhu Mythos. And so, if you want to call this more of a fantasy inspired, kind of like Clark Smith style, or like the Seven Guesses or the Testament of that guy. I can't remember how to pronounce his name. But yeah, you get the idea. So it kind of feels like that too. So basically what's happening here is that there is a guy. He calls himself the Reaver of Reavers. He's a great Reaver. And the text will actually refer to him as, and the people he's going against, we'll call him the King of Reavers, to out of respect for how great he is. And that sort of thing too. So he wants to raid and sack and bring back all the good stuff from a city that is dedicated to Cthulhu. And this is it's basically an early version of Rulia that we'll see in the Call of Cthulhu by Lovecraft. That sort of thing too. And so basically what's happening here is that we have this. But you can definitely tell it's like an R in front of it, not an I, and it's one word an apostrophe or one right, but you can tell it's definitely referring to it's its own, and that sort of thing too. And so basically, what is happening here is that he puts together a bunch of dragon ships in order to raid them together. Puts together a bunch of Reavers too, in order to sack and bring back all the treasures of the Cthulhu era and that sort of thing too. The House of Cthulhu. So and that's where the top comes from, and then I'll put together some stuff. He'll show up and he'll run into an acolyte who is very powerful and very strong. And actually, we'll find it in like the first couple of pages. Then he actually raided this acolyte. This is how he found out about the House of Cthulhu and where it was looking, and on this album. And then he actually finds out from taking out this guy's brother, and that sort of thing too. And then his brother tells him that his brother should follow Cthulhu, and gives him all that information before he gets killed. And so now he's here to sack this place. And obviously things don't go to plan. That's why it's a Cthulhu Mythos short story. That sort of thing. To leave it to your imagination, or if you haven't, if you have it, you can tell me, all right, that sort of thing too, or just whatever. You can read it too if you haven't. Right, links go in below. So I do like what's happening here. I do like this sword and sorcery take on this too. I can see why a lot of people would be like, it's a little different. It does remind me a little bit of the ones that were set during the era in the gladiatorial combats in the Roman era. And more that is recently with, but I think it's by Richard Tierney, if I remember. And that sort of thing too, that I went back and read a collection of his stuff for, and that sort of thing too. I'm reading this for you folks as part of my Cthulhu Mythos October, hopefully they get published around there. It's fun, it's fast, I like it. It was definitely engaging too, and again I definitely enjoy that different take too, but I like that one, but I actually feel like that one because it was probably written a couple of decades later, probably, and was like an entirely fleshed out character rather than just a fast little beat. With an entire collection of things to it, my goodness, and that sort of thing too. So I feel like this one is a little less than that one, than the Simon thing, if I remember that correctly, just from that era. So I definitely feel like this one is probably a little less, and that sort of thing too than that one, and the plot line is a little less intense too, if that makes sense. It's reaching for less. That sort of thing too. Somebody this temp is fine. I like it. I thought it was a fun little diversion. So if you're interested in your next Cthulhu Mythos or short story or Brian Lumley, I know a lot of people out there have followed it, and I've definitely enjoyed them too. Then definitely check this out. Again, collections are links below. But there you are. So let me know what you thought about this in the comments below. Like I mentioned before, I'm a big fan of Cthulhu Mythos stuff. He's, H.P. Lovecraft to this day still my favorite author, and horror's become my favorite genre from fantasy. That sort of thing too. So, but I'm just a fan, right? I'm not somebody who's a trained literary critic. I didn't study English in college, right? I'm not coming to you from a place of expertise. So I'm definitely sort of engaged with having conversations with you. I'll let you know what you got, right? Happy to talk about it for you folks. Alrighty, also, I do 3 reviews of these each week. These older things that you read in the 3 genres that we cover, fantasy and science fiction, and in this case, or fantasy too. It's got 2 of those. Right, all up and down the box. And so there we go. And then I also do on Saturday something I call Serial Saturday, which is dedicated to reviewing older movie and TV serials. I've done Zorro, Dick Tracy's, Tarzan, lots of stuff like that. So you can check it out too. And then I've also on Saturday, on Wednesday, do older video game reviews. I've done Star Control 2 from 92, then Evil Genius 1. I've done Elden Ring from a few years ago, right, that stuff too. And then on Monday, do reviews of older tabletop RPGs like Dungeons & Dragons or tabletop board games like Battletime. So you can check out that stuff too. And then if those 7 older reviews a week, if that sounds like your cup of tea, or you just want to follow this stuff around, right, and follow around the Brian Lumley stuff, that's fine, great. Welcome to the channel and have a seat. No judgment here for what you want to see. You watch what you want to watch. And then if that stuff, and then welcome to the channel. And while here, please do all the YouTube stuff like I mentioned before, like subscribe and all that. All right. As you can tell from those 7 older reviews, I like to do it's the passion. Finding these older things for you and let you know what I thought about, right? And that's even where its title comes from. That's a quote by Jean Joubert, who says that the worst thing about them was that they kept us from reading the old stuff, right? Not that the new stuff is bad by default, it's not, right? But standing on the shoulders of giants like Brian Lumley, like August Derleth, like H.P. Lovecraft, like Robert E. Howard's Conan, and that sort of thing too, right? And our passion for the new diversion. We sometimes have forgotten that these things are standing on the shoulders of giants, right? From one of the books to video games. So let's check out those giants, right? And there you go. And then I want to thank you so very, very much for just taking some time out of your day and investing it, right? And watching my video, because we all have so many things that are happening in our lives too. And we're pulled in so many different directions too, right? So if you spent this time with me, that's incredibly humbling, and I appreciate that so very, very much. So thanks again, and have an amazing day.